Tampa said the other day he thought Vita Vea, since he's been here, has had his best year. He's going to make the Pro Bowls, we can both get her. The play he makes on third down.
That was huge.
If you guys win that game, we're still talking.
Still talking about that play.
Just describe for me what you've seen of this guy in his the year he's had so far.
Well, the thing is, I think it's go back and when you see him, and we talked about it in the offseason when he came back, the weight was under control. He was a different guy. And then since Kalijah got here, his leadership level has grown because he's kind of taken him under his wing, and they kind of two peas in a pod. But just to see the growth with Vita, because this is my 6th year working with him since I walked in the door, and it's just like you see him from this stage to go to this stage as a leader, and it's just, type guy that don't really ever says a lot, but, he's coming to the game with you on Sunday, stuff like that. And I couldn't say enough about the guy, but I'm saying we kind of talked about it this preseason, but in order for us to do anything, he's got to make plays now. You didn't expect him to be dropped off number 3 and making a tackle on number 2 over there. That's probably asking a lot, but that's the kind of plays we expect him to make.
Kacy, can you talk about some of your younger linebackers like Vi Jones and Antonio Greer? They haven't seen a lot of playing time. Some veteran guys ahead of them, but what have you seen from those two developing guys?
Well, the thing is, when you talk about Vi, first you talk about the athleticism that you can see the traits that you want to develop, and then Greer, he's been running show team for us since that. It's just his instinctiveness. You got 2 young ascending players that you kind of see them getting better and better every day. We try not to throw too much on them or putting them in situations, but sometimes necessity might force our hand a little bit. But both of those are rising players, definitely.
Against the run, I know it always starts there, but what do you think's helped you do that this year?
Well, the thing is, once we talked about once we got to the bye, we figured out what we can do. We have always kind of hung our hat on being able to do that. So we said we got to get back to doing that. If we can kind of try to limit this, we can attack that. Every team has weaknesses, so we're trying to make this a positive. Then we're able to do this. So and plus the guys really bought in. When we were sitting there, to be different if I was walking in and say they were just whooping us physically. We would have a misfit here, a missed tackle here, and then it's all explosive. So that was not that was good, but that was a lot worse than I sitting here. They physically whooped us, and there's nothing we could do. Now we got problems. So I think everybody's kind of buying in, and we're all accountable, so we all got to be exactly where, and that helped us. If we're a lot better when we make teams one-dimensional.
I know you guys are accountable. Injuries aren't an excuse, next man above that. At the same time, you guys have not had Antonio Jr. for big stretches this year.
Right.
When he's been on the field, maybe he's still lingering effect from his injury. He's not been the same guy from a production standpoint as last year. Can you just talk about how that has impacted your defense?
Well, you're probably talking about if we were sitting here this time last year when Winfield, you're talking about probably the number 1 player on our defense last year. So the playmaking ability when he had 5-6 sacks, caused fumbles, 2 game-saving touchdown plays, I remember. So you lose that. And then when you get him back, he's trying to get back up to speed, then we lose him again. That's just tough because, you're right. The next man is up, but the next man is not necessarily Antoine Winfield. So that's the battle you have to battle. Now you got an injury here, you got to rob Peter to pay Paul in so many ways, and that's kind of the juggling match we're facing right now.
As you prepare to face the Panthers offense for the second time this season, or maybe some of the takeaways that you got facing them a few weeks ago?
Well, the thing is, we know going into this game, if they look back at it and they, trying to see how they saw it, and well, they looking at it as a game, maybe they had a good chance to win. They missed a couple of field goals, fumbled at the end. They're coming here like we should have beat them the last time. Here we come. Then you look at their last Arizona game. I think they ran the ball 36 times for 243. To me, when we spoke to the defense on Tuesday, this is the ideal blueprint for you would think they would want to play. They ran the ball, averaged almost 6 yards a carry, 6 explosive run. You managing a young quarterback, so you give him a running game. Now it opens everything up. Now the problem is he played a major role in the running game because he had about 80 yards rushing of that himself. So, the thing is their recipe that they showed against Arizona is really very indicative of how we think they want to play and how we feel like they will attack us.
First time you faced him, Bryce Young has really just started to kind of come into his own.
No question.
Now, like you mentioned, the Cardinals game, he had one of his better games.
But it all worked together because the rushing, we just watched them again as a D-line group, and they It was one series he had a 34-yard run, and 2 plays later he had a 23-yard. So he had 57 yards rushing on 2 plays in the same drive. And so that's just it's taking pressure off him because he know he can make plays with his legs if it ain't there on the throw. So then he got a really good tailback behind them. The offensive line they spent a lot of money on, so it's kind of coming together for him.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You guys have